Hello, Newton.
Hey, Commissioner.
Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners zoning public hearing. Today is August 22nd, 2024. The time is 6 p.m. I would request that you please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. At this time, I'd request that the county manager lead us in the invocation and that Commissioner Johnson lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Good evening. Let us pray. Father God, thank you for this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to do the county's business. We pray, Lord, that you would be in this meeting, that you would lead, guide, and direct us as we make the decisions to move our community forward. We also pray, Lord, that you would be with Commissioner Bolden's family in this hour of his family members being in the hospital. We pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. It's exciting to see everybody here, and we. Can you hear me now? All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's exciting to have everybody here. I understand there's a number of people. This is the first time that they have been to a Board of Commissioners meeting or a public zoning meeting. So let me kind of explain how things will work and who all of us are that are up here. From my left, your right, are the commissioners. Next to me, it would be the Vice Chair, District 4, Ryan Bolden. Next to him is Commissioner Gwen Flowers Taylor from District 1. Next to her is would be James Dutton from District 2, and over on the far side is Commissioner Johnson from District 2. All right, now on this side, the county manager, Dr. Ledbetter, then our county attorney, then our deputy county clerk, and then our citizen engagement. Excuse me for being time. I usually don't have to do this portion at all. Okay. And tonight there's a number of different things that will go on. We'll have a public hearing, and the public hearing will talk about general things that we're going to talk about, and then we will go through specific actions that we're taking on zoning. And at that time, the zoning folks will be able to, if you have an issue with the zoning, you'll be able to come forward. There is no requirement that you do speak. And also, since this is a zoning hearing, our Director of Community Development, David Allen, is here. And then next to him is our zoning attorney, Newton Galloway. So that's what's all the people that are up here to deal with things tonight. All right. Item D, public hearings. Persons desiring to speak must sign up to the appropriate application. When called, speakers must state their name and addresses and direct their comments to the board only. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters being considered by the Board of Commissioners on this agenda. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times. Dr. Ledbetter, do we have people signed up for the general public hearing?
We do not.
All right. Item number 2, E, new business. Community development for approval of the new alcohol license for retail sales and beer and wine. consider approval for the following new 2024 alcohol licenses for retail beer and wine. High Falls County Store, new ownership, James K. Joy, located at 2662 High Falls Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224. There are no violations. Do I have a motion to approve?
Do we need to do them individually, or?
No, you could do them together.
Okay.
you wanna read them
Would
all?
you rather do them together? Okay. Second one, Ringo Grocery at 4243 Jackson Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Nash Food Mart, 1511 Vaughn Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Mr. Allen?
Yes, staff has processed all these, and they seem to be complete applications, and all the background checks, fingerprinting, everything was okay.
Okay.
Why are they coming in as new? I know that Ringgold and Nash Food both are like existing businesses.
Change in ownership.
Oh, okay.
All of them are changing ownership?
The High Falls is a change in ownership, and I believe Nash Foods is a change in ownership as well. I think the one in the middle is actually, well, no, it's a change in ownership as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Item 2, Flume, 24-01A. McElroy Incorporated, owner D. McElroy, agent 1279 Malloy Road, 2831 Williamson Road, and 2833 Williamson Road, approximately 3.29 acres located in land lot 43 of the Second Land District. Mr. Allen.
Okay, Chairman, apologize, this being my first meeting, do you want the applicant to speak, or how do you want this to go?
Could we possibly just, I know that we have to take them separately since there's two of them. Can we just read the second one to make continuity with what it is that they're asking for?
All right. Yes, we can. Application 24-09Z, McElroy Incorporated, owner D. McElroy, agent 1279 Malloy Road, 2831 Williamson Road, and 2833 Williamson Road, approximately 3.9 acres located in land lot 43 of the Second Land District. The applicant requests to rezone from AR1, agriculture and residential, to C1, highway commercial, for a proposed convenience store, restaurant, and future office and retail store. Back to you, Mr. Allen.
All right, would you like for me to speak first, the applicant to come forward, or?
Yes, give us an overview of what this looks like.
All right, well, this has been going around for a couple of months now, and this is kind of a bit of a unique situation. If you'll indulge me for a minute, I'll bring you the board up to
Please.
speed as well as the general public. This
Can
is
you
kind
all
of-
hear him? Excuse me.
How about now?
The answer was no there.
All right, sorry. So this is a bit of a unique situation, as this zoning case occurred between myself as director and Ms. Reddick as director. So I'll kind of give an overview of where we're at right now, and just me putting my pair of eyes on things and seeing what we have here. Two main points, items 2 and 3 on the agenda, new business, are related to the same proposed development on Highway 362 in Rover Zatella. They had to be voted on separately, of course. So if you deny the first one, the future land use map amendment, that would make consideration of item number 3 pretty much a moot point. So I just want to bring that up to you for consideration. Also, new information presented tonight shows the site plan has been reduced in scope since the original first seen in June. And this is on the board right now. You will see the, is now shown as one building with a convenience store, 2 other suites attached, gas canopy for cars in the front, truck fueling station in the rear, and associated parking for vehicles, cars. The building apparently has a drive-through lane for possible future restaurants based on what I saw on the site plan. Proposed truck stop parking and any other commercial office buildings are no longer shown. The historic home is also not demolished, but would be less than 500 feet from the gas station. So for the public's benefit, the historic house is in red on that plan, so you can see the relationship of it to the proposed gas station there and the revised site plan as well. Addressing just the flume, the future land use map amendment, which is item number 2, of course. Ms. Reddick recommended the flume amendment for denial in her staff report based on the original site plan. That was the one with the truck stop, the parking, and the additional commercial. Ms. Reddick did not submit any other staff report on the flume amendment based on the revised site plan, so her original recommendation to denial still stands. Planning Commission on June 25th also recommended the flume amendment for denial based on the original site plan. The Planning Commission apparently had no meeting in July and has submitted no other recommendation beyond June on any version of the site plan. Therefore, the only official recommendations on the flume amendment are denial from both the Community Development Office and the Planning Commission. Director Allen has only reviewed the revised reduced site plan, but still agrees with the original recommendation for denial of the flume amendment at this intersection. And this, my recommendation is based on this revised reduced site plan. The flume shows primarily a rural neighborhood character area in this area with a secondary community crossroads directly around this intersection at Rovers Atella and Highway 362. Around the intersection, there is currently no active commercial development. Staff is concerned that a picture of the old Marybrook gas station on the original staff report shows an active station when in fact it has not been operational in many years, is boarded up, and may have some entirely different use in the future. The vision of the rural neighborhood area is modest development that preserves open space and rural quality of life. Rural neighborhood areas are characterized by low-density, single-family uses and large percentages of open space. Some agricultural uses are found in these areas, so there's no mention of commercial with that. The vision of the community crossroads will be distinct places that residents and visitors will recognize for their local charm. There will be nodes of commercial activity. As far as the commercial activity goes, community crossroads are intersections where commercial uses can be introduced to provide needed services in areas that are primarily residential. At these sites, up to 2 contiguous parcels around the intersection may be developed at a low density and a scale similar to surrounding development. That's a direct quote from our comp plan. The gas station, if approved, would be the highest density, largest scale activity around the entire intersection. It also lacks charm and would harm the local charm of the historic farmhouse, which we all know as the Gaysert Home Place, which is on the National Register of Historic Places and was a Georgia Centennial farm about 20 years ago. This is only one of 3 locations in unincorporated Spalding County on the historic register. The updated comp plan is not even 2 years old and does not need to be changed at this point. Its standards trump any commercial activity there in the distant past. Much public input went into the making of the comp plan and its vision statement. Spalding County will be a county of choice thanks to well-timed, targeted growth for housing and jobs, new services and amenities for enhancing our livability and vibrancy, and protection of the environmental, historic, and rural charm that makes our community unique. That's a direct quote from the comp plan. A gas station there threatens the charm around the surrounding area around the intersection. So based on that, that's my flume comments. I know this is a lot, but I felt like we needed to untangle some stuff with this project. Referring to the rezoning, item number 3, Ms. Reddick reviewed the revised site plan in late July and issued an updated staff report before she left. She recommended the rezoning for approval based on the revised site plan, which is before you now, and complying with the suggested conditions. These conditions were entirely from Ms. Reddick, not from the Planning Commission, and they were not included in your packets tonight. If the scale of the project is limited, these are her words here. If the scale of the project is limited, the landscaping well-maintained, the exterior of the building is brick or masonry, it will be consistent with the scale of development identified in the community crossroads. However, no truck fueling stations would be permitted. So that is her wording from the revised July staff report. That revised plan was never seen by the Planning Commission. So my observations on that are these, and this is my final word on this. There are still truck fueling stations shown on the revised plan at the rear of the gas station. While the conditions say recommend approval, there are no truck fueling stations. There is no guarantee the applicant will agree to do this. If the truck parking fueling is retained in any proportion, it could cause more large truck traffic along rural Rover-Zatella Road. Number two, there will be a problem with long trucks turning into the site off the Malloy curve. That should actually be the Rover-Zatella curve, sorry. Either trucks fueling or gas trucks refilling the underground tanks in the front. So even if there's no truck fueling in the back, there will still be trucks doing the car tanks in the front. Number three, there is a power easement running through the truck fueling area in the back. Typically, no paving or structures that do not belong to the power company are allowed in easements like that. And then number four, finally, allowing the approval of the proposed use via the community crossroads criteria could potentially develop every corner lot at the subject intersection at some point in the future with similar scaled uses, thus turning an intended low-density community crossroads into a higher-density commercial town center area. So after all those words, that is my final report on that. So.
We have a number of people who want to speak, but before we get into it, do the commissioners want to say something to start it off?
No, I think the developer should.
McElroy's are here.
Okay, McElroy, come on forward. I'm sorry.
Can't hear back here.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Board, thank you. Thank y'all. Thank everybody for coming. I want to start by saying I think there's been a lot of false narrative.
Need your name and address.
I'm sorry. My name's Eric McElroy Incorporated at 200 Plaza Drive in Zebulon, Georgia. And we are the developer for the proposed store. Like I was saying, there's been a lot of false narrative, unfortunately, with this project. One is that we're going to tear down the historical house. I like to point out that, however, the house is historical. We've never received any state or federal money on the home, so therefore we do have the right to tear the home down at any time. However, we have no desire to do that. Right now, we're actually, we got crews in the house starting today, actually rehabbing the house. There was some stuff in ill repair that we're working on now. And if you rode by today, you'll see a for rent sign in the yard that we plan on using that home as a rental home to give somebody in the area a nice home to live. Just to be clear, there's no plans for that home to be tore down right now. We'd like to preserve the rural nature, the historic. I mean, I can't say forever. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't say forever. I'm not prepared to do that.
Mr. Chairman, let's get
That's
some
right,
order
the house
going on.
is for sale.
Now, I thought I made the rules pretty clear at the beginning. This is not a conversation between the McElroys and the speaker, whoever the speaker is, and the people in the rest of you. Unfortunately, if you want to speak, you had the opportunity to sign up. So you listen, you had your opportunity, he's going to speak. I don't want to have to clear the place out so we can hear what he's got to say and make a decision on this. All right?
To be very clear, if we're granted this rezoning and we're able to put this station in place, that home will not be torn down during this development. I mean, that's as clear as I can be. I can't predict the future on the home. And as far as the rezoning, the way we understand the community crossroads, that it does allow for community crossroads or intersections where commercial use can be introduced to provide needed services in areas that are primarily residential. And this intersection at Rovers and Rover-Zatella and State Routes 362, it does fall under the community crossroads. So we feel like what we've proposing fits all of the narrative of the community crossroads development. We did have some negative feedback on truck parking when we first submitted to the planning and zoning. As you can see with the new plan, we've deleted all truck parking. There's no truck parking on the development. There is truck fueling stations. And I'd like to address too that this would create more truck traffic. And there's been study after study, not one done on this particular station, but there's study after study that a convenience store does not create traffic. A convenience store is nothing more than a convenience for the trucks and the cars that are coming through at that time. We own big trucks, and they get about 2 miles per gallon. And trucks don't go out of the way. They buy fuel in the route they're in. If they're going to the rock quarry, they'll buy fuel on the way to the rock quarry. They'll never travel out of the way to get fuel. So to create more traffic, I feel like that's a false narrative. This is a convenience store. So it'll be convenient to the people that's already using these roads and are in the area. Board, do y'all have any questions for me?
You all done?
I think so.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we have a number of people to speak. My intent was to go ahead and do that, let them all speak now, be able to do this. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Ledbetter?
As you come up, if you would, please state your name and your address for the record. Dwayne Chapman?
While Mr. Chapman's coming up, I want to make sure, Commissioner Bolden, Brian Bolden, who is commissioner for this area, let me be real loud. His father's in the hospital, and we're in a bad situation. He has been talking to the commissioners about this for a long time. So this is not something new. He is extremely sorry that he can't be here to be able to do this. But this is not a new subject. Each one of us commissioners has talked to Commissioner Bolden about what's going on here. So please don't look, well, he didn't even make, that's not true. Although he is not here, his views have been provided to us repeatedly. All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dwayne Chapman, live at 2714 Williamson Road, Williamson, Georgia. And I don't think McElroy should be able to put a convenience store / gas station there because we got churches, we got school buses, we got kids, and I see enough for the tractor trailers running 80 miles an hour in front of my house every day. Every day. They pass each other on the highway, on 362. That's unnecessary. And this is gonna bring more traffic, lot lizards, whatever you wanna call them, all this come along with the convenience store. And I don't think it's fair for him to come in and develop anything right there. You got Malloy Road, when you go on down through, we call it Countertown, it's nothing gonna be but trouble. And I think that's what it's gonna bring. And that's my opinion about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
Angela Chapman?
And everybody who speaks, please speak into the microphone. This has to be transcribed and everything, and if you stay away from the microphone, we have a tough time transcribing it. Please, Ms.
Good
Chapman.
evening. My name is Angela Chapman, and I live at 2714 Williamson Road. And I think that this is a very bad idea. Like my husband said, we see tractor trailers up and down that road every day going 75 and 80 miles an hour. And when they get in front of our driveways, they pass each other on that road, on the two-lane road. And my husband, and my daughter, I've come that close from being hit with them passing in front of my driveway, me and several of my neighbors, and this will only make it worse. And then we have the school buses stopping, letting the kids, and then one tractor trailer had to go around the bus because he had to slam on brakes because they don't slow down. And I think it'll just make it worse. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman.
Angie Harrelson? Okay. Carolyn Harris? Julie Sykes?
Okay.
But I am opposed to this.
Okay.
Did they mean to sign for the other?
This is a list you're on.
If so, will they need to be heard on that one too? If if they've signed in the wrong spot, just want to make sure that. Yeah, you have to sign. Yeah, but I mean, because it's technically a public hearing.
Mary Griffin?
If nobody wants to talk, I don't know if I signed on the right, and I do want to talk.
All right, hold that thought.
We'll get to you. If we're
Judy
on the wrong one, we'll make sure.
Judy
Dr. Ledbetter,
Snyder?
do people in the hallway hear you calling names?
True, that's true. They could be out there.
Golly. Where's the bailiff? Sound.
Can you turn his
Hello,
mic
my
up?
name is Judy Snyder. I live at 120 Canaan Court, Williamson, Georgia, and I built my home in 1989. I've been out there for 35 years, and the traffic on Highway 362 is, I guess, 100 times more than it was back in 1989. I just would like for it to stay rural. That was why I bought there, and the traffic now, of course, we were blessed with that traffic light at that intersection several years back, and that's been a blessing, but it takes sometimes you can't even make the left turn there, and traffic backs up at that intersection now. But I would just like for it to be voted down. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, ma'am.
Walter Howard.
My name's Walter Howard. I'm 856 Malloy Road. Sorry, y'all gonna be mad at me. I'm for it. I moved in my property back in early 2000. We had a gas station at that intersection. Georgia TOT forced them to close for the reroute of 155 to go from 19 up Malloy Road over Rosatella to 16. That was approved by Spalding County. So I know y'all, we have a comprehensive plan, but they were forced to close. That was a gas station that has been in the area for a long time. That was the reason that intersection was redesigned. No, I don't agree with the truck stop, but a convenience store would be nice. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Chase Alexanian.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Chase Alexanian. I live at 25 Rover Road. It's about a quarter-mile away from this proposed site. My wife and 3 daughters, we are new residents to Georgia. We just moved here. I just finished a 20-year career in the Marine Corps. My wife grew up here. This is where we wanted to call home. We wanted to call home because we just bought our dream farmhouse, and that's exactly what we wanted. I wanted to get away. I spent the last 5 years in California, so I know what development looks like, and I know what busyness looks like. And I wanted everything that was the opposite of that. And so when I come down 362 every day coming home from work, the last thing I want to get stuck behind is tractor trailers. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Okay.
My wife, I think, signed up accidentally, so if you call Crystal next, she doesn't want to call.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Christine Thomas.
Christine Thomas, 400 North Rover Road. Hey, everybody, haven't seen you guys in a while. Okay, so he said that there was no traffic studies, so I think that there needs to be traffic studies, noise studies, air pollution studies, and light pollution studies. Also with GDOT and the turning lanes and everything, that has to actually by law, by Georgia code, have traffic studies. The land purchase issues, I was looking at the land purchase issues, and it was very concerning because the property on 2831, 2833 was sold for $1,325,000. And in 2024, 2831 was assessed at $603,000, and at 2020, in 2833 was assessed at, let's see, I don't know if I read that down there, 55, but it was sold for, 35,412. And so that's, and then on the Malloy Road, it was 55, and it was sold for 145. So anyway, the whole thing is, the assessment was $686,000 more combined than what they got paid. So they got paid more than that. I also want to say, why are you doing this now? I mean, I know I'm behind the curve, but you have your Green Lake Valley. Coming here tonight, I passed so many different stores that are empty. let's see, I guess the traffic studies, let's see. Oh, and also the House has the 10-year covenant plan. What will happen with that? And so you said it says it's going to get $3.5 million, quote unquote. It says it's going to increase taxes by $50,000, but the property there now is around $30,000 in taxes, and it says it's going to bring in $3.5 million around there. How many jobs is that going to create? And to offset that you're getting, are you going to reduce the millage rate in our taxes? Because we have been swamped with taxes for the last 5 to 10 years. And if you're going to bring in this kind of thing and we have to have it, and you're not going to respect our taxes, only developers' taxes, then something needs to be had on our part too. So you need to give us a reprieve on our taxes.
Thank you.
Kayla Barrett.
Hi, my name is Kella Barnett.
Thank you.
I live at 185 Rover Road, and I'm vehemently opposed to this, the noise, the traffic. I know they say that the traffic won't come, but the tractor-trailer trucks, I do not want this in my neighborhood. I grew up in Williamson, and now I live in Spalding County. I just don't think it's the thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeannie Clem.
Jenny Clem, 119 Canaan Court, Williamson. My concern is like with everyone else. We're the homeowners in the area. We like our rural landscape that we have. This will change. I'm afraid that once you change it to commercial, that it's zone commercial, that maybe this is what it's going to start like, but what else will they ask for in the future? That concerns me. Disturbing levels of noise, more traffic equals more accidents. I actually work at 2924 Williamson Road, which is right across the street from there. And I watch accidents happen weekly at that intersection. People blow that light. It's just a bad intersection already. I think that bringing a business into that rural area would be bad. I don't understand. There's a building, Marybrook is sitting there empty. It says for sale or rent on it. So why not develop something that's already a commercial corner that's right there? Also, the residential area of Rover, Zatella, 35 miles an hour, has a no through trucks policy. And so that would have to change with that. And I don't believe any homeowner would want that to change. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda Merritt. Thank you. Renee Buchanan.
Yes, my name is Renee Buchanan. I live 2 houses down, 2693 Williamson Road. I knew the McCallums, and I know they would rolling over in their graves to know that this is going on their beautiful farm. I know the history of that house, and yeah, they may not get federal money, but we could do something about the house given time. And okay, so he wants to develop 32.9 acres. What's he gonna do with the rest? I think there's 70-something acres total. Well, what's the rest gonna be? He didn't tell us that. He didn't show us that on his map. On his development plan. And he just did this, but it doesn't mean that he's not gonna develop the rest of it. Why not put beautiful homes in there and let the house be a clubhouse? I think that would be better. It's a community of homes. The light pollution alone from a convenience store. Dollar General is 5 miles up in Williamson, 3 miles down by the railroad track there. And there is a gas station up in Williamson. There's one there that they just put in down Rover Zatella, turning left on 16. They just put that new one there. So, that's not really, I don't really think we need it. I really don't. I think it's going to ruin our community. And if they want to get their money out, put it back on the market. Somebody will buy it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Emily McGinnis.
Hi, Hi, my name is Emily McGinnis. I live right across the street from the proposed property at 2718 Williamson Road. I have 5 small children. My husband is a retired Marine. We moved
Cool.
into that property to grow our family because we wanted to live somewhere that was at least mostly rural. Obviously, we are part of the problem. We developed there recently. But we wanted to live in an area that was at least residential. We have, farms on either side of us. And unfortunately, we bought the property in 2020 when there really wasn't a whole lot of traffic. So the traffic was a bit of a surprise for us. I've almost been hit several times pulling out of my driveway with a car full of children. So is my husband. A young man, 25 years old, died in our driveway because he was in a fatal car accident from these people who drive too fast on this road, from the truck traffic. It's already dangerous. It's already crowded enough. But at least when it's dark outside. I don't have any lights besides our neighbor's street light that I can see outside. I don't want to hear the noise or the lights from this truck stop or gas station that will literally be across from my driveway. I don't want my children having to grow up with the kind of people that hang around a gas station late at night and the kind of crime that will bring to the area, regardless of whether or not the builders have those intentions or care about those intentions. I'm very vehemently against it. We can't afford to move. My first thought when this happened was, I guess it's time to pack up. But this is our home. We love our home. We want to stay there. We want our area that we love to stay the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to read the address. 531 North Rover Road.
That's my address.
All right. What's your name, sir?
My name's Emery Wright. I didn't sign up at all.
Okay.
Okay. Dwayne Harry.
They covered most of the points as far as the taxes and all that, so I'm good to go because the taxes are steady going up.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mose Harrelson. All right. Thank you. Diane Kalina.
My name is Diane Kalina, and I live at 13 Rover Road. Most people have covered what I'm going to say, but, on behalf of pretty much all the people in the area, we want to keep it residential and agricultural, just like the commissioners told us in 2022 they were going to do. We don't want to see that amended. We don't want it to be commercial. They're talking about a convenience store, not a truck stop, whatever. You got to remember that Buc-ee's is considered a convenience store. So anyway, it's agricultural, it's residential in that area. We all want to keep it. You heard from my neighbor that just moved in, I haven't even met. He didn't buy that house thinking that he was going to have a truck stop a half a mile away, So, I just hope that, if something's going to be commercial there, there's an abandoned store there. Open up that store and make it a mom and pop commercial or mom and pop convenience store. But we don't need a truck stop. We don't need it to be rezoned from A1 to commercial because what happens next? This all gets ditched. We see how quickly they can change a site plan. This gets ditched and the next thing you know, you've got something else. And of course, we all know what truck stops bring in, prostitution, drugs, just, lording, it's just not the place for anything commercial. So I hope that we can keep it residential and agricultural. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Betty Ray Wilson. Betty Ray Wilson. Oh, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for helping.
He's my neighbor across the street.
My name is Buddy Ray Wilson. I'm 1313 Moreland Road. I'm a retired state trooper here in Griffin for 32 years. And I know the conditions here are pretty good, and I know that road. I live down there on 1313 Moreland Road, and I know traffic comes by there just going 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, and just blowing the horn. If I'm out there trying to get mail out of the mailbox, they don't pull over, they don't ease over or nothing, and it's just dangerous as ridiculous. Tractor and trailers runs through there, and them old trucks hauls that stuff from the quarry up there. They go down through there. It just sometimes look like a bunch of ants heels going. They're just one right behind the other. And they're using the old Jake brakes and stuff like that, you know. And if they come down through there, if a tractor and trailers comes through there, see, they got to go through two schools down there, and we don't need that down there. And but I just don't think that thing is feasible, because I bought out there because it was agriculture and supposed to been a safe place to live. And I've been out there 13 years where I'm living at 1313 Moreland Road, and I just don't think it's feasible, and we don't need the more trucks running up and down through there at all. That's for sure. And I know what the old trucks brings to a place. I know it's a bunch of trouble. And us citizens down through there, we bought out there for it to be safe and a place to live, and supposed to be commercial, agriculture, and it's just not. We just don't like to see it that way, you know. And the old saying is, if something happened, if they approve it, and something happens down that road there, if one of the kids at school or get run over or killed or hurt or something, then the old saying is, the blood's going to be on their shoulder, and we don't want that. And I don't want to see nothing happen down there like it is. I'd rather for it just stay like it is, and I'm gonna see about getting the troopers out there to work traffic a little more, and slow them people down out there, because they just tearing that place up down through there, and it's not just at certain times.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Kim Stone. Kim Stone.
Oh, that's my neighbor,
Hello, I'm Kim Stone, 2715 Williamson Road. I live adjoining on the McCollum land, the pasture. Right now, I'm sure just the talk of this is reducing property values significantly. I'm guessing maybe $50,000 to $100,000 minimum. It's going to increase taxes, my taxes. I'm sure my property value is down, taxes go up. A convenience store would be nice, but I don't think it's necessary in this environment. You know, when my wife and I moved here, we moved here for a rural setting. No light and see the stars at night. This is going to create light pollution. It'll create noise pollution. It'll create more air pollution. And just environmentally, I think it'll be impact on the neighborhood. I don't think anybody would want to move to rural and then adopt a commercial setting. I was already against Renee here, who moved in because her previous owner was a lawyer who used the house for an office, which I didn't object to because they were only there Monday through Friday, low traffic. This is going to be a high impact to everybody in the area and to everybody that has, like they say, the kids, everybody who wants a nice environment to live in without a lot of riffraff and all that goes along with the commercial properties. That's all I have to say. Thank you. And I definitely oppose this.
Thank you, sir.
Brandy Baird.
Hello, haven't seen y'all in a while. I'm Brandy Byard. My address is 135 Bethany Road, and Steve went out of order, so everybody took my points. Really, I just want to agree with the denial he said earlier, because even the convenience store is not needed. 2 miles this way is Dollar General, the convenience store, 24-hour gas station. 2 miles this way, same thing. Pretty much same thing everybody else said. A key thing I do want you all to think about is the only other convenience store / truck stop that I know of that I've been on the road with plenty of truckers is the one on Boulder Crest. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. However, it had a apartment complex, you know, a whole living complex and everything beside it. It's abandoned now, because I actually knew people who lived there, and they said that they would wake up in the morning or whatnot, and transits be on the backside of their patio and their lawn chairs and things like that. I'm sure all of us want to avoid that. Number one, like everyone said, I'm raising kids. Y'all know I'm raising kids on my dirt road. I don't want anything to happen. I'm sure you don't want anything to happen to any of our kids or the families or whatnot. With that also, as rampant as the missing children that we have and abductions and everything, it comes from places like this. It happens. This is where it happens, and you don't want to put our kids in risk of that. The other thing is the traffic. I know they said there wasn't a traffic study done, but there was one in the comprehensive plan in 2023 that I went through all 220 pages of. And the only thing really that they studied there was 41 accidents at the intersection. To me, that's not enough research to say yes to something like this, because as she said, someone died in her driveway, which is not at that intersection, but it's still in conjoined with the fact of there's going to be 18-wheelers coming up and down the highway like this. With that, also we have the railroad tracks, which line up cars. When it comes, it stays there forever. When the trains get stopped, it stays forever. It lines up cars all the way up to their houses and things, and they can't get in. And when people top that hill, an accident's right there to happen. And to have an 18-wheeler top that hill and come over and to hit all those cars is going to be devastating for our community. And I know y'all don't want your constituents or Ryan's. I know Ryan's against, and he don't want his constituents. He don't want to show up at funerals, you know. And nobody, y'all don't know the feeling of having to bury a child. It's awful. It's unbearing. Sorry. And to have the school buses and the increasing of the 18-wheelers that are going to come, because we've all seen the plan. Oh,
thank you, ma'am.
Sorry.
Linda Miller.
My name is Linda Miller, and I live at 100 Rover Road. I'm opposed to it. We already have 3 convenience stores right in the vicinity. We already have 3 service stations at the vicinity, and then at the opposite direction, like a mile and a half down the road, there's another convenience store, another dollar store, another gas station. We have, as Mr. Wilson said, there's tractor-trailer trucks, particularly those dump trucks that come from the quarry, that are coming on Moreland Road and off of 362. There's signs that clearly state they're not supposed to be on that road, but they are. They're not supposed to be going through that area, but they're not, but they are. So we don't need, any more traffic. It's just going to bring more traffic, and as the resident said, it's just going to have light and people that we don't, need, and I'm just opposed to it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
David Kelly.
I think everybody's covered all of the concerns and everything. I'm 1488 Rover Satella. I bought there. The rock quarry is there. I'm just saying this. There's plenty of trucks, plenty of traffic. We don't need any more out there, period.
Gail Stevenson.
Good evening. My name's Gail Stevenson. I live at 1241 Moreland Road. My husband and I moved there 10 years ago. We left Clayton County because we were living in a beautiful, small 33-house subdivision. We loved it, and they developed it. Every parcel that came up for zoning, they approved it. When we left, after living there for 17 years, we moved to Spalding County. We left crime. We left noise and light pollution. We left increased traffic. And we came here, we bought 35 acres on a fixer-upper and have put blood, sweat, and tears into fixing up this property. And we are blessed by God to live on 35 acres where I watch deer in my yard. I feed them. We have to enjoy sitting on our deck and watching the nature that's there. We can still hear the dump trucks. We can still hear the 18-wheelers. I think everybody's made valid points tonight. My concern is, what is the future? They changed it so quick, and they'll change it again. Once the development is approved for this part, what are the rest of the acres? What's the next development? What is added later? What is rented to a different person? I built the property, now I'm going to lease it out. Lease it to who? For what? Where are we going to be? I want to point out, people have already been saying, we've got Rover Zatella, the rock quarry, they're already driving down Moreland. They're dropping gravel. They're speeding down there. What's going to happen? Is this going to be a 24-hour, 7 days a week? Are we going to have these trucks and cars and whoever else traveling at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning? That's my concern, is the future. Y'all have made a lot of great points, and I applaud every point. Every person in here who chooses not to speak, 99.9% of them are a vote opposing this. So please honor us. This is where we choose to live. We trust you. You are our representatives, and we're asking you, please honor what we love in the area that we live and protect us. I'm sorry they made an investment, but they made a purchase at a commercial price in a residential area. That was their risk. I made a residential purchase in a rural area that I love, and that was my purchase. So please honor what all of these people have requested from Spalding County. Let us live in peace. Let us enjoy our nature, and let us enjoy each other, right? Thank you.
Joe Stevenson.
Mr. Speaker, I think my wife has said everything.
Jamie Newton.
My name is Jamie Newton. I live at 101 St. Luke. I want to start by addressing some of the things that have already been said that we didn't pick up on very well. The owner of the property has reduced the size of this, but he said he can build whatever he wants. He can tear that house down whenever he wants. So if we give him commercial on 32 acres, he can do whatever he wants when he gets those 32 acres. We need to keep it what he purchased. He made a decision to make an investment in residential, like we made our investment. We live here. This investment should be more important than someone who doesn't live there. I'm sorry. They bought what they bought. Now I want to go down the rest of this. They said that they have the right to do this when there's a need. We've all said this. There is no need. There is no need for this. You have any 4 directions you go, you're never more than 4 miles from another gas station. The closest one in Williamson's 2.3 miles away. You can go in any direction and you have the convenience. We don't need another convenience. 5 minutes down the road is pretty convenient already. All right, we have those covered. Trucks going by, even if there isn't any more trucks, there couldn't be one more truck go down that road if it's only the ones there. They're still going to stop. They're going to make a lot of noise filling up 100-gallon tanks, a lot different than the truck that drove by and didn't stay for 2 seconds at the stop sign. That's going to be noise pollution we're going to hear. Even if it's the same 5 trucks a day, they might want to everybody believe that's going by there. If they're going to have them fueling up, they're going to be there a lot longer, and you're going to hear them idle, because I've never heard a diesel truck stop and turn the engine off. They let it idle, stays running the whole time. They're going to sit there and run it, and you're going to hear it the whole time they're fueling. All right. I don't know if you guys, have you seen some of these other intersections when we put a gas station up at an intersection that gets backed up? You see a lot of idiot drivers cutting through the parking lot. We already have that intersection backed up. I have a dash cam of a police officer turn his blue lights on today because it was backed up and he wanted to get home. Turned them off on the other side. Now, how many idiot drivers are going to come off Rosatella, want to turn left and go into Griffin and try to cut off that red light? That's what we're going to start seeing. We're going to give them that access to go past that. All right? The gravel on the trucks. All right? You don't see so much gravel going down the sides of the road to and from the quarry. You see it everywhere that truck turns, everywhere that truck stops. That intersection has a lot of gravel already. We're going to see more of it if you see them turning in and out of that gas station. We're just going to make the problems we have, we're going to make them worse. We don't need to make problems worse over there. Again, going back to what we've already heard, there is no need. We have no need for a convenience store. It's pretty convenient where it is right there. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Debbie Daniel Bryant.
My name is Debbie Daniel Bryant, and I live at 282 North Rover Road. And I live about a mile from the Gassert House home place, the Marybrook Farm. You've heard a lot about convenience stores and traffic and all that. I want to talk about history. It's clear that the developers had very little respect for the history of the area, of the house. It's been there for almost 200 years. Parts of it, it's been added to, I admit. I think it's pretty evident that based on what they were thinking, that down the road that this house would come down. And I think that's just a really sad statement that there is so little respect for the history of the area for a house that's on the National Registry of Historic Places. I just think that that's just too bad. So I respectfully request that you deny this zoning change and keep this from becoming a retail place for the developer. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bill Bryant.
My name is Bill Bryant. I live at 282 North Rover Road, and it's nice to meet so many of my neighbors that I didn't know. I ask you to deny this rezoning request and the future land use map change. This area needs to remain single-family residential until a better compatible use and a suitable zoning classification is available. I've passed through that intersection many times over 35 years that I've lived there, like a lot of you. And the immediate surrounding area has always seen a low-paced growth residential, which has been fine. I think everyone agrees with that. But the speed of development going to be proposed by 33 acres of commercial that is nowhere around in that area would be really out of touch, because once they get the zoning, all they can do is propose some other commercial use. The current land use plan does call for this as a community crossroads, not community commercial. It's been pointed out there's numerous opportunities for us to shop. That intersection, I'm great and glad and proud that we got that in. The light was a blessing, but it's not designed for much more traffic. DOT did a great job for maybe 5 years ago, but all this traffic coming in, every one of those site plans, whichever one you want to choose, and maybe there's another one we haven't seen, all show a entrance or exit on that curve. That curve is very bad. Any of you have driven out there? I know we all do, and that's a dicey area. Then converting part of this Marybrook Farm or Gassett House, sorry for my mispronunciation, Marybrook Farm, I'll leave it at that, I think would be an insult to Nancy McCallum. I met her and her husband years ago, and I know she worked very hard to try to restore that to what she could given resources. So to conclude, I ask you to deny the zoning request and the future land use map. And future land use map change, it needs to remain single-family residential. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Jordan Balamont.
Hi, my name is Jordan Valamont, and I took some notes here. I'm at 2722 Williamson Road. First of all, I've sat here and I've watched and observed the McElroy clan. I don't have anything against them personally, but instead of them really listening to all of our requests, I've just seen them being frustrated with the conversation that's going on. And that's disappointing to me because ultimately we in our community are the ones that will be supporting said business if it gets passed. I do have some oppositions that I would like to bring to light to everyone here. I travel internationally and work with a lot of nonprofit organizations for various missional efforts. And I would just like to stop and say that I am grateful that I actually can come here and oppose something like this because that means I'm a homeowner. And I would just like to thank the Lord for that because there's a lot of people in this county, according to information that I've been given, about 70% of the people and the families that are in this county that are not homeowners. That being said, my oppositions to this proposed gas station, convenience store, truck stop, whatever it may be, is very intense because, like I said, I have worked with nonprofit organizations in specifically human trafficking, and it is a proven fact, and I do have these studies that are available if anyone would like this, that there is an increase in human trafficking at convenience stores, at truck stops. So that is one of my major points, especially since there are school buses, since there are schools all around the area. There's an increased risk of drugs and prostitution, increased noise from larger vehicles, light pollution from commercial venues. Also, our road frontage will be taken from our personal home properties to widen the road. And me personally, this proposed commercial development will be right in my front yard, because I live right there on the corner of Rover Zatella, Moreland, and 362. Also, there is going to be devaluation of our home properties for resale opportunities. And my question is this, is the McElroy Incorporation going to pay for our devaluation of our homes if this gets pushed through? We're also going to have increased foot traffic. Since the apartments have been built, I have seen an increase in the foot traffic in my front yard, which has caused me concern because as a single woman with a 14-year-old daughter, even though I know I look 25, I have that major concern. It is a huge concern for me, for my safety. Also, the increase, a lot of people may not know this, I have studies for this as well. When there's a gas station put in the area, there's an increase for,
thank you, ma'am.
Oh, I only got halfway there.
Yvonne Langford.
Okay, let's.
Robert Langford. Oh, sorry, there's Miss Yvonne. I see you now. You were behind the pole.
Yvonne Langford, 600 South Hill Street. The county commission has many responsibilities, and you promised to do the best for this community when you put your name up for election. And one of your responsibilities is to plan the zoning for the county. And the last time that this future land use plan was up for adjustments, the county spent hours and hours and months and weeks. They took information from the citizens, and they designated this area as agricultural. And there is nothing about this project that fits that zoning, or we would not be here tonight. And I urge you to not destroy your planning map by allowing this project.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Robert Langford. Wendell Gunnels.
My name is Wendell Bruce Gunnels. I live at 1061 Moreland Road. I've been living there 30 years. Both of my daughters were teachers at Moreland Road Elementary School. One of them just retired. And it has been a wonderful place to live. The biggest problem that we have had over and over and over. Most of you know Morris Pike used to live out there, just right up from me. And the whole time he lived there, he was constantly having to call state troopers to come out there and start writing tickets again for dump trucks flying up and down their road, you know, probably 50, 60, 70 miles an hour sometime there. Just this past week, I was in my front yard doing some work. 6 dump trucks, back to back to back. My understanding is there's 2 trucks that have permissions on Moreland Road. There's 2 trucks that run between the quarry and the Walker Concrete place. Okay, and we recognize those. We understand, we see those coming. But the amount of traffic that is there already getting increased would be absolutely horrible for us. It's dangerous now. You know, I go to my mailbox. I stop and I look intently both ways to make sure there's no dump trucks coming down the road. But anyway, I oppose this, you know, just for the safety and security of my family and my neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Barbara Gunnels.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Gloria Jester.
Hi, I'm Lori Jester. I live at 102 Wilder Way. Me and my husband bought our house out there to raise our boys. It's quiet, it's pleasant. We enjoy sitting out on our deck, being peaceful. We don't need the noise of more trucks, the lights, the 18-wheelers, none of that. We want a convenience store. We have Dollar Generals around, Dollar General markets. We have the grocery stores. We just like to keep it the way it is. If you guys don't mind, please, don't let them come in and do this to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Henry Jester. Virginia Lankford.
My name's Virginia Langford. I live at 600 South Hill Street. And I oppose any more development out there. I rode down that road twice today. The traffic is horrific, and it wasn't even crowded. My aunt lives a little bit closer to town on that same road down, and if you've ever seen it, she's the house with the whale painted on it. Going in and out of her driveway is horrific, and she's got that convenience store right there next to her, and South Pound Hill Road is right there beside her. And the apartments are behind her. She's had people pull their cars into her driveway and sleep in her driveway. My cousin parks her travel trailer there. The police chased a man into my aunt's property and had to arrest him out of her because he had held up the convenience store. So all of that's what happens when you put in a convenience store. And you're ruining a community. So I just want you to know, even though I live downtown, I have a piece of property down in Pike County, and I go down there because it's quiet. And this will ruin the quiet out toward Williamson. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cedric Randolph.
Cedric Randolph, 137 Wilder Way, Stanfield West Subdivision. And I come to oppose this rezoning. This month, 24 years ago, me, my wife, and children moved into our home. And the area, we know growth happens, but the area is no longer the area that we moved into. We know the quarry is there. We knew it was there when we bought it. But the thing is, if you add more truck traffic, I know they say convenience. You look at 362 and the amount of truck traffic going in and out of Griffin. If it's a convenience, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna pull in. That intersection is not designed for that. I retired from Georgia Department of Transportation, and let me correct something that was said earlier. The owner of the convenience store was not forced out. DOT bought the right-of-way. The right-of-way that was bought had the gas tanks. And they said, that's our biggest profit. So they chose to move. And so I just wanted to make sure that we understand that all money is not good money. And so, personal, my son almost got killed at that intersection. Somebody cut in front of him, he ran off the road. But I'm glad nothing worse happened. But you cannot put more truck traffic there and expect anything good to come out of it. So I agree with many of you all. Please don't change the zoning. Leave it like it is, and if you want to do anything, add more homes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dale at 362 Williamson.
Dale Shaw, Williamson, Georgia. I respect the McLemores as neighbors in the community, but I would ask the question, would they want a truck stop next to their farms? The answer would be no, guarantee you. Once you approve a C1 from C11, you open the door up to do anything in that area, as some people have pointed out. Once you zone that C1, that development is going to go and go and go. We don't want to be another Henry DeKalb. What I mean by that is the development that the commission has approved has overgrown the county. It is still a rural area. We have families. I was raised in Pike. I enjoy the quietness. I enjoy the rural areas. So I ask that you oppose this.
Thank you, sir.
Tony at 620 Bethany Road.
Hello. Tony Deeb, 620 Bethany. Many of my concerns have been addressed in the previous statements and with the amended plan. I am concerned, however, about the changes that could occur to the plan in the future if we go from AR1 to C1. I'm also very concerned about the traffic and traffic accidents in that area. You know, in Spalding's own ordinances, all of the roads around there, through traffic is disallowed. So, and that includes Malloy, Pine Hill, Lakeside, Rover Zatella, Bethany, and Moreland, where all these people are talking about, you know, the trucks speeding down the road already. That's kind of sad to me because it tells me that a law that you can't enforce is not really a law, it's just a suggestion. I think everything else for me has been addressed. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
(1620) Moreland Road. Someone signed up from 1620.
I think somebody's coming
Yes.
forward. Okay.
Good afternoon. We are Carolyn and Ulysses Driver, 1620 Moreland Road. We are right at the intersection. Our church is right there also. And Lord help you, Say a prayer before you go to your mailbox on Moreland Road. It is that bad. Choose a right time to try to get to your mailbox, because you have trucks coming through there so fast, as has been said before. So I come before you with a resounding no, no, no. Please, as everyone else has said, please deny the request for the change. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Ulysses Driver. This is my wife. If I say anything that's out of the way, which I won't, praying to God I won't, but the gentleman here says he was a retired state trooper. Well, I live at 1620 Moreland, and when I'm not out there doing my yard, I'm sitting on the porch. And then when the bus come through to pick them kids up, believe me, the parents will bring the kids out. The bus will stop, put the flashes on. That don't do no good. You have people going around them. And if I heard right, he said he was gonna check with the state troopers, because God knows, when them kids get hit, somebody is in trouble. And that's all I want to say. Somebody is in trouble. And I thank you, sir, for what you said. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Aaron Lamb. Josh Lamb.
My name is Josh Lamb, 160 Wilder Way. Me and my family just moved here this year. Moved here from Henry County. I was born and raised in Henry County. This feels like Henry County when I was born and raised. This feels like it was when I was a teenager. Well, Henry County is no longer like this. And this is how it started. You give them one little bit, it's gonna grow. They're gonna keep doing this, keep doing this, keep doing this. Your crime's gonna go up, our taxes are gonna go up. Everything that everyone said, traffic's gonna get bad, and we're gonna look at the new Clayton County, Henry County, and it's gonna be just like that for Spalding County. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, sir.
Charles Gilbert.
Charles Gilbert, 539 Brook Circle. I work with McElroy Incorporated as their Chief Financial Officer. And I guess contrary to what your statements were, we've been taking notes and actually hearing what the constituents have been saying. We actually live here ourselves. I'm a resident of Spalding County, and again, we've done a lot of listening. And one, this is not a truck stop. We did revise the plans to remove the truck parking. It was never intended for overnight. We definitely agree with the 24-hour issue of being open. We would not allow that at the development as well, because we agree with those points that were made. But if it would please the board, we would like to request you guys to not take a vote on this tonight. And the reason why is because we want to address more of the concerns from the local community, such as the house and the traffic, and what are we going to do with the other land. We would just like another opportunity to address those concerns and feel that we can maybe partner better with the community, because we do recognize that there was a plan done. And that the community crossroads, again, I'll read it, are intersections where commercial uses can be introduced to provide a needed services. And so we just want to, that's why we even try to submit this, is because we wanted to partner with you guys in that plan that was approved. But we want to maybe hold this down a little bit more after talking with the McElroys and see if we can't be, a better partner in the community. So if it would please the board, that'd be my final comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric or Dee, you both have signed up. Did either of you wish to speak?
D. McElroy, 671 Heritage Lake Drive, Griffin. I would just like to say a few things, and they're probably irrelevant, but I'd like to say them anyway. That the Gassert family and the McCullum family both knew full well what we were going to do with the property. We talked to them in length, so it's not a surprise. I know some of the opposition said that they had no idea, but they did. The traffic, I mean, convenience stores do not create traffic. No convenience stores do. People use them.
Mr. Chairman,
I don't know.
Get them to be
if
quiet.
any.
Hey. Now, we're trying to do this nice and polite, and I've allowed people to applaud and do everything else. Let's keep it quiet. Let us hear what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody crosses town to buy fuel. I don't. I turn in whenever I get low. I turn in where I'm at. I think most people do. We have big trucks, and we won't allow them to go across road. I mean, some of them get 2 and 3 miles to the gallon, so they're surely not going to drive out of the way to get fuel. They're going to get it wherever the closest location is. And we have trucks there that will have to go out of the way. This is a convenience to them where they don't have to get on a road that they won't ordinarily be on. They can turn in right there. They're already there. They're at the rock quarry. The comprehensive plan that you all have has the community crossroads. This is allowable under the community crossroads. That was done, adopted, and codified by this board or your predecessors. As far as taxes, this would generate sales tax, a lot of sales tax that would typically go to an adjoining county, like Fayette County, in trucks. And this is going to let those trucks be able to buy fuel here and, be productive for Spalding County. And as well as ad valorem tax. We're going to contribute to the ad valorem tax. If we build this, we'll build a nice building that'll add to the tax digest. And in order to be a healthy tax digest, it needs to be, 30 to 40% commercial and industrial. I'm not sure what Spalding County is percentage-wise, but I know, by some of the people out here that they feel like they pay a big share of the burden. Only way that can be lessened if you do have commercial and industrial property. And we don't want to be a bad neighbor. I mean, I've lived in Pike County my whole life and, come to Spalding County and Griffin. And, we developed, I don't know if the people out here are familiar with it or the board is, but Pike Plaza down there. And of course, we had a lot of naysayers down there. But, after we built it, most of the people that were naysayers come and patronize because it is a convenience to the community. And we want to do what's good for the community. We don't want to be the big bad guy, but that's my 2 cents. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you, Dean.
Mr. Chairman, that's all who have signed up this evening.
I was here and I was outside at 10 till and I was unable, when I came in, they hadn't removed the, sign up, but I would like to see. What's her name?
That is up to the board.
What's her name on there that we missed earlier, maybe? What's your name?
No.
Stacy Donaldson.
She didn't.
Is
She
that
didn't
okay?
sign
No,
up.
ma'am.
Yeah, I was outside and going to sign up, and when I was, by the time I got in here from the line, they had removed the sign ups.
Now, I'm going to let this lady speak. Please, don't everybody raise your hand and say, all right, I was someplace else. We're going to have one more time to be able to do this. Please step to the microphone, state your name and address.
Thank you. Stacy Donaldson, 1058 Moreland Road in Williamson, Georgia. I'm also a real estate broker in Griffin. I've had my license for 25 years and I own my own company. And I am very concerned for the property values for everyone in this building, everyone in this room. People bought in this area because it is rural, it is away from everything, it is still considered the county, and it will be detrimental to our property values. I own a house plus 16 acres around me, and I truly hope that you will really consider if you would want this in your backyard, if you would want this anywhere close to you, because it is going to bring down property values. I can say that as a licensed professional, it will bring down property values.
So I really hope that you will reconsider their proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a position from McElroy is to basically table this tonight.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So, the way I'm looking at it is,
Mike.
oh yeah, sorry. The way I'm looking at it is they went to P&Z with sort of one plan. That plan is wildly shifted because mostly from community feedback. I think tabling it's the right thing to do, but we should this new plan, which is very different than what some of the community feedback thought it was. I think that needs to go back through P&Z so that we can re-engage the community and everything. I mean, again, it's there might be a way to do something, but I'm looking at stuff. I don't know. I don't know if we're quite ready for it yet. I mean, I think they're saying the same thing. We need to re-engage the community.
Mr. Chairman, before we decide to table, what I heard in here tonight was that the county does a crappy job of controlling trucks that are on 362 or on any of our county roads that are supposed to be no-through truck. That's what I heard people say. And when they said that, I feel really bad because the applicant is getting beat up because we're not doing our job up here. We're not making people slow down. We're not having someone out there to make sure gravel's not falling off the truck. We're not making sure that people are not on Moreland Road going 60 miles an hour. That's our responsibility. So the things that I hear people saying that are a problem for them with this development doesn't fix the rest of the stuff that they're saying that's already happening. So I just want people to understand the accusations that you're saying to us is our failure to do our job. Because if there are no through trucks allowed, then there should be no through trucks coming through. And I mean, I don't know the exact truck rule, but if someone gets permission to do it because they're coming from the quarry, then there should be something on their vehicle that says that. So yes, I say to you guys, the applicants, I think that it's important that you do have feedback. I also, on this plan, had some concerns about the exit being in the curve because after I drove back out there. So I think there's some tweaking that can be done. But what I heard and hear was that there are some problems out on 362 that we need to address immediately, whether that's code enforcement, asking the sheriff to be there. Those roads are not made for that. Now, will that affect their application down the road if we say that no trucks are allowed on that road? That's the law. That's the rule we made, so that will be on their business if they choose to put a fueling place there and there are actually supposed to be no trucks. So I think there's room for a conversation. I applaud you for wanting to get feedback from the community, but the bigger problems that I hear is that we need to do something different than what we're doing on Moreland 362 in general about the truck traffic. Even the gravel trucks, they shouldn't be throwing gravel on the ground anywhere. They're supposed to have a thing on the top of them, I think.
Yeah.
So I just, when and if this does come back, I just wanted to be clear that there's some stuff that we need to do up here.
May I also comment? First of all, I just want to applaud you all for coming out tonight.
Yeah.
Very rare do we actually get a scene like this. So we know you coming out shows us right now how important this is to you. Hey, I'm right there. This is Commissioner Bolden's district, but I live in Stonebriar. I'm off Moreland Road. So this also affects me as well. So I get you all of you have made some very valid points that, maybe that I had not considered before, and I appreciate it. I do. As far as where I sit right here, I'm prepared to deny this application. However, I do understand that if there is a conversation that needs to be done, if there's more work that we need to do, in particular with Commissioner Bolden not being here, I'm willing to to do whatever the board is wanting to do, if that's the concern, or if that's the place we want to be. But, you know, I think I've heard all I need to hear sitting here as far as where I sit.
Commissioner Dutton?
Mr. Chairman, one more thing. I totally agree that, and as we've talked about this at many other meetings, that we need to step up the no-through trucks enforcement. The number one expense other than public safety is the roads. And what damages the roads? Big trucks driving on them. You know, it's not my car. It's not your car. It's, 80,000-pound tankers and everything else smashing them up as they drive. Moreland is a no-through trucks. However, 362 isn't. That said, the community also needs to be aware that the DOT plan is to make a bypass from 92 to 16 to 362 down Vaughn and Rover Zatella. And there's nothing this committee can do about it. So that's about to not be no-through trucks either. As far as this attracting more trucks, that I don't know, but when the GDOT redirects and makes a bypass around, where it's going to be a lot more road traffic out there, and I don't know what their date is. I want to say it was like 2030 or something that they came and came in 36. Yeah. So I mean, we can only hold that off for so long, but that's something that the state is doing. So.
Motion to table, Mr. Chairman.
Could I make one, Mr. Chairman, could I make one point? I want to point out something.
You're already soft-spoken. You got to really get in that mic. We're working on it.
Dude.
Use his.
Didn't light up. Sorry, guys. I want to point out one thing to the board. As the applications currently stand, you have an application for a flume amendment for 32.9 acres and an application for rezoning for 32.9 acres. But you have a revised site plan that is approximately 4 or 5. That needs to be clarified. If this is going to be tabled, it needs, Commissioner Dutton, that plan was not looked at by P&Z.
Right.
It was not on the table at P&Z. And even though the new site plan has been presented, there is no modification to the amount of property which is the subject of the two applications.
Would the better just rule of procedure
Withdraw?
be to either have them withdraw or a denial doesn't mean they can't do this? Would that send them back to P&Z? You know what I'm saying? I don't want.
No, that means
I think
that
it's our
A
intention to
denial-
sort of send it back there.
365 days.
A denial would stop this stop any application on that property for a year for these classifications.
Yeah,
A withdrawal or a table does not. And the result of this is, like I say, you're confronted with an application right now where the proposed site plan is very different from the original applications, which have not been changed. So when Mr. Allen referred to the fact that the flume amendment had not been changed and the recommendation for denial was the same, he was calling it exactly right.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I can't get the microphone.
What's the
I
procedure for
apologize.
withdrawal? Is it them that
They can
withdraws
withdraw at
or-
any time.
They have to start the whole process over. You got to go back to P&Z.
The process would start over, but yes, under our procedures, they can withdraw. If they're denied, it waits a year.
We would like to withdraw and go back before planning and zoning and take into consideration the comments we heard tonight.
Okay.
It's the last thing to do. We don't have to.
That requires no action from us at all.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
I
You-
think so.
you-
I think it's now gone.
Eric, are y'all withdrawing it to refile?
Oh, okay, 'cause they
As
withdraw.
long as I understand, if I
Yeah.
withdraw, we can go before planning and
Yep.
zoning next month. Is that
You
correct?
you can refile. There's no prohibition on refiling at all.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, you will have to start the process under zoning procedures again.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
it's not a year.
But it's
from
not
now.
a year.
Okay.
And at that point, y'all
Okay.
will have the plan, and I would assume the application more consistent than what's on the
Yeah,
table
as well as
now.
incorporating what we've learn from the
But,
community today.
Mr. Chairman, you have, if they withdraw the application, I would like to have, of course, we've got it on the record, but it's better for y'all, Charles, to present something in writing to say it's withdrawn.
Sure.
But you have nothing to act on.
Okay.
All right. Now, does everybody understand? The applicant withdrew their original plan, and they're going to go back and be able to go through planning and zoning, through the planning committee again. And in the meantime, you're going to get feedback from the community to help set up this better.
If it's
Correct?
redrawn, y'all will have to refile.
This is not that kind of meeting.
Guys, this,
All right.
guys, this is not how we can conduct business, guys.
So you understand, there's a certain amount of things that we can do as a board. We have nothing that we can do after they withdraw. We don't get to say, oh, we want to do this, that, or the other. When they withdraw their request, we're through with it. So at this time.
So does it have to be a written withdrawal, because legally it should be written withdrawal, not oral, because from here to that door, that they could change it.
Has to be written.
Stephanie?
We're in
And
official
then
business.
also, I'd like to ask,
I don't think.
We've had this happen.
Guys,
because it's a land.
we can't.
No.
We can't shout out, guys.
Yeah.
We can't.
Is this a,
All right,
We can't shout out.
attorney, what do we?
All I was going to say was, folks, we've had this happen before.
Yeah.
We've had withdrawals as a result of public comment in hearings. This is a procedure that is permitted. The procedure does allow them to refile without a time restriction, which is within their rights to do.
Okay,
And they still eventually have to come back before us.
That's
And we're
correct.
still gonna
okay.
look at it with the same eyes, so.
So item 2 and 3 have been eliminated. We're at item 4. If those of you that are not interested in anything else on the, can go ahead and quietly leave. We've got more actions.
Do we want to recess for
Yes.
5 minutes?
Yes.
All right.
This is gonna be half the
While
room.
that's happening, the board will recess for 5 minutes. session.
Mr. Chairman, are we on other business?
Yeah, no, we're on,
Are we coming out of the?
Number
No,
four.
we're on 4 now. Number 4.
No,
Genealogy stuff?
four had to do with the other stuff.
Oh, but there's 4 connected to that?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that we take no action on item 1 and 2.
Are you talking about
Or 2 and 3?
And other number 4 was with the
Oh, I
last
see, the
application.
Minerva stuff.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah, second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to take no action, to not lift from the table the entire other business.
Because that's not ready, right? Like that's,
Okay?
yeah.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries.
Is that the procedure? Or do we just shrug and move on?
I just figured out, Mr. Chairman, why the mic didn't work. I didn't have it plugged in, so I apologize. I provided y'all with a memo on the status of other business items F1 and 2 this afternoon, which gives you an update on where that is and the reason why this needs to have no action at this time.
Mr. Galloway, they just took a vote and they have no action on those.
Well, I just wanted to explain it, sorry. You know, nothing like a little redundancy to make a legal opinion authoritative.
Yes, sir.
All right, at this point, we have no executive session.
Motion to adjourn.
I have
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor,
Y'all
please signify by
do
raising
have,
your hand.
Mr. Chairman, y'all have looked over the cemetery report, and I believe Eva has provided that to you for review. Is that correct? No, item
It's number 4.
Item 4, E, new business, E4. This is the genealogy report on the cemetery on Hardy Road. And this is, you remember we had the abandoned.
With the New Salem?
The old New Salem Baptist Church Cemetery. I believe Ms. Morales has provided that report to y'all. Basically, I can tell you, having read the report, the genealogy report found they could not identify any heirs. And the genealogy report theorized that the cemetery might contain graves with people who were named, a number of names that could have lived anywhere. So there's
some more 23andMe's get done.
there is no identification of any heirs or people who've been able to they've been able to find that have a connection to the cemetery.
Ms. Gwen, this is.
So
I don't
that
know what that
is
means for
supposed
us,
to come back to us, right? We just wanted to make sure
Y'all have-
that.
Oh,
You had
so
just
we take
asked for the-
ownership of it because we can't identify the heirs?
Y'all, no. The genealogy report was the final step for the abandoned cemetery process, which allows now that lot to be developed with appropriate protection for the cemetery.
Okay, to have this discussion, could you rescind your motion? Because, Mr. Chairman, there's a motion and a second on the table to adjourn.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I will send my motion to adjourn so that we can hear what he just said.
I did, but I don't want to take it back. I'll take it back, but I don't want to.
All right, we're,
Do we
all
need-
right,
is there
anything
a-
else
is there
for-
action?
on
Nothing
that?
else on that. But that's the final step for that abandoned cemetery.
So will they
That
come
was
back
all
to
part of
us
the
again?
discussion on
No.
adjournment.
Okay.
Okay,
There is no discussion on adjournment motion.
okay. Now,
He doesn't gavel him down there.
do I have a motion to adjourn?
Now I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
We get
Do I have
excited
a
about
second?
it.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by
Sure.
raising your hands.
Ah.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Man, I've been at Three Rivers meeting all day.